All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
MJ, do the thing.
Hi.
Do the thing, MJ.
Do the thing.
No, do the thing.
What thing?
Yeah, do the thing.
Do the thing.
Hello.
Ready?
Okay, yep. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Ultracrepidarians podcast. I'm Kaylee.
And I'm Connor.
And this is the podcast where we talk about whatever we want. You're probably wondering, wow, this is a new environment. You can see our faces.
What?
We have cameras.
They can see everything?
Not only do we have cameras, we have another
We have a
person.
guest.
MJ, say hi.
Yay, MJ.
Okay. MJ is my best friend. She's also an expert in everything that I'm not. So she is she is a disqualified Ultracrepidarian.
Disqualified. Yeah, because she knows everything.
Yes, she knows everything.
Ultracreps can't know anything.
Ultracreps can't know anything.
I'll take
No.
it. I'll take it.
But, funnily enough, the topic for today is stuff you guys know about.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not an Ultracrepidarian anymore.
It's okay. It's okay.
Podcast canceled.
We'll go back to not knowing anything later.
No, we won't. We're gonna go talk about stuff we do actually know about.
Yeah, you're right. It always happens eventually.
Yeah.
But
MJ, how are you feeling being on the... I hear the booth is squeaking.
I know it keeps squeaking every time you move.
Anyways, MJ,
That's okay.
how do you feel about being on the podcast?
I'm excited.
Really?
Yeah. And like it's weird, like seeing mouths move with audio's here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like it's
yeah.
not coming at me, it's here, but it's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
yeah, headphones are weird, and they can see the headphones now.
I
They
forgot
can
about
see
that.
that we have headphones on. We have mics in front of us.
We're just
They
looking
can
at
see the
a bunch
whole
of
place.
gamers.
We've been here for the last few months, and no one's known.
No one's seen the cool lights, the atmosphere we
Yeah,
got going
I know.
on in here.
As soon as we got in here, I was super excited to eventually get video up
Yeah.
because it just looked so good.
I know. This is a really big milestone for us. I'm really excited you're here. This is
Mhm.
like
New year, new podcast.
New Year,
excited
new
to be here.
podcast.
We had an unofficial break over the New Year's, and it's because we were getting all this stuff set up.
You're welcome. I work hard to make this place a home. A single mom who works
No.
2 jobs. Speaking of single mom,
Whoa.
so theater.
So theater, that's how you're gonna...
My mother was a single mother. She did great.
And you're in theater. I don't know
Don't
how those
say it like
correlate.
that. Don't
I don't
say
know
it
how
like
those correlate.
that.
You're the
Don't.
one who tried to make them correlate.
I don't. Heather, this is not a reflection of you. This is a reflection of me. I was supposed to be a pharmacist. Anyways, MJ.
Yeah.
MJ, you worked at a theater, so we thought, why not just make episode 6 all about theater, all about stage acting, all that.
Slay.
This was not my decision. This was Connor's executive
really?
decision. He texted me when I was like, we're going to have MJ on. Well, first of all, Connor sent me like a checklist of like what we need to do to make the podcast better.
Okay.
Yeah, like wrote it all out to me. And
Man
he
of
was
business.
like, yeah.
Yep.
He was like, we need to have one topic per episode. And I was like, okay, so what's the topic with MJ? He goes, theater.
Okay, well, are you going to look at me and say that it's wrong? You're both theater majors. No?
She's not.
I'm not. I mean,
You're
I
a
am, but I'm
film
not.
and theater major.
Yeah. Don't discredit me.
Fine. MJ's a theater major, and you're a weird mix of both worlds. Hannah Montana.
Get the best of both
Yep,
worlds.
that. And MJ has worked at a theater, so...
And done theater.
And done theater. We've all
And-
done
and me?
theater throughout our lives. At some point.
Connor really wants to be us.
Yeah.
What
Is it
was
that obvious?
I'll
She's
start.
a wannabe theater kid.
No, it's wannabe theater kids are worse than actual theater kids because at least actual theater kids like can take ownership over what they are and what
Yeah,
they
they
do.
commit.
Yeah.
They'll commit to the bit.
Yes, like I will full get on my hands and knees and growl for a show. But what I will not do is Oh no, wannabe theater kids are like those kids on YouTube who are like, this is the best musical ever, and here's why.
Yeah, like the top 10 rankings, but they're all like the same.
All of them are like
shows,
Dear Evan
but, like,
Hansen, Hamilton, and like
Be More Chill.
Mean Girls.
yeah, like all of
I'm
it
not
is
the biggest
just
fan of Mean Girls.
Hot take, I kind of love the Mean Girls musical, but
I like some songs.
I like some of the songs. I don't think it needed to be a musical. No, like I think it was fine by itself.
Yeah, like it's okay.
Yeah.
I just think it came out at a time like on Broadway when we just had too much likes out on Broadway.
Yeah. I also did not like. This is a hot take, but also this musical's ruined for me because I did it at a showcase my junior year of high school, and we bombed the whole performance. Beetlejuice. I don't
really.
like Beetlejuice
That's so
musical.
funny. My younger sister is a huge fan of Beetlejuice. That's like one of her favorite.
It's because
musicals.
it was like in the era of musical theater that was like 2016 musical theater. So it was like Dear Evan Hansen, Beetlejuice, Heathers.
Yeah. Whoa.
Hamilton was
wait.
at its prime too.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice came out in 2016.
No, Beetlejuice came out in 2017.
Okay.
But it was in that group of or
It's
2018.
in those like couple years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it
all
was
those
in like
shows
all
kinda
those
time
shows were
by.
still
Yeah. Like right before COVID, that was like the peak of like Tumblr musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tumblr musical. That's
was-
a really good way to explain it.
Tumblr musical.
Well, because it was like the same culture as like
It was taking a well-known movie or franchise and making it into a musical. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of those, like Mean Girls and Beetlejuice and stuff. So it's just like there's already this fan base on Tumblr, and it's like music.
I've never been on Tumblr. I don't know what that world is like. I know. Okay. So I know what I just recently, I think like 2 years ago now, got Pinterest.
Okay.
So I like whenever anyone mentions like Pinterest board and stuff, I get it now.
Okay.
I'm still lacking on the Tumblr part because everyone's like, "Oh, Tumblr page," and I'm like, "Is that like a Pinterest board? Is it not?"
The skeleton's kind of the same.
it's like
I guess.
it's like if Pinterest and Twitter had a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
it's,
you
like,
can.
Mostly fandoms
Yeah.
and angst.
Yeah. There's a lot of fanfic on Tumblr.
So is it like Reddit with a bunch of different like pages and stuff that like multiple people can
And
be
there's
on?
like an account that you can post stuff, kind of like MySpace. Like you have like your page
Yeah.
that you can upload and post your own things and like an aesthetic to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can like choose the colors and stuff of your like profile.
You can.
Yeah.
I have a secret Tumblr account. I still use
Go
it.
find it. Go
No,
find it.
you're not
Go
gonna
find it
find
right
it.
now. Go find it right now.
You're not going to find it. It's not under any of my normal usernames. I made a whole email dedicated to this secret Tumblr account. And not because I'm ashamed of like what I do on Tumblr. Like I do normal teenage girl stuff on Tumblr because I'm a teenage girl. I'm still Connor gets mad at me. Okay. When I say I'm a teenage girl, I'm not saying I'm literally a teenage girl. This is something that Brittany Broski started on her podcast.
Okay,
Yep.
but
I'm a teenage girl.
but what else do you mean by that? By
Like,
you
I s-
realize
In my brain, I'm still a teenage girl. So I get to act and have things that like teenage girls have. So like I will have a Pinterest board dedicated to my favorite Marvel character. That's a teenage girl thing that I can still do. I'm a teenage girl
Connor's face right now.
because he knows which Marvel character it is.
I do.
I also think I know which Marvel character.
I've been talking about him a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Sue me.
Which okay,
Wait, is
Sue me.
it the one you
actually-
were watching when I took a nap?
Yeah.
that
Okay.
correlates with our theater conversation.
Why?
If there's one musical, I know it's like rhetoric, and it's just it was in the show to be haha funny. I want a real Roger.
Yeah, it was like the Rogers musical. I knew you were gonna say
I
that.
want a real Rogers musical.
It's real at like Disneyland.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
or they
a.
did it
but
for a
like-
little bit, but it was like,
But like
It's
that's like
there.
an hour long
Yeah.
show. That's like an hour long show. That's not like I want a musical.
And it's only, I think,
like for like 2.5 hours intermission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they're in the process of making one. If not like a Rogers one, I think they're making like an Avengers one. Like the first
Okay.
Avengers movie, I think they're...
That's gonna be crazy because the moment Marvel becomes a musical, you're like, are we supposed to take this seriously? Are we
Yeah.
not?
I feel like it needs to be done in the same way that Rogers was done, where it has to be like funny and
Yeah.
almost satirical in a way. Like they
Yeah.
have to lean into that, like just be campy.
I want it to be kind of like Star Kid vibes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like make Loki's helmet out of tinfoil.
Mhm.
I don't want it to be a
Oh.
real helmet.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like spray painted gold, so it's
Yeah.
so gold. You're like, that's tinfoil.
Yeah, it needs to look like the production value needs to look a little bit.
It needs to look like for costumes they hired a little kid who's fresh off his Halloween high. Like he's
Yeah.
ready to make his Halloween costumes.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and you're Captain America. Here's your garbage can lid shield.
Yeah, it's like when you go to Pinterest, like cheap
Yeah.
DIY Marvel character.
You're Iron
costumes.
Man.
Yeah, it's gonna be that.
Here's your cardboard suit.
Yeah, or like logos are just like a piece of paper taped on.
Yeah.
Like painted on.
Yeah.
Like acrylic paint, so it's all peeling.
What if we just did this?
Tony theater.
I'm out. I'm out. I would like to see it, but I'm not going to put in that much effort.
Okay, this is where Connor loses his theater kid sparkle.
Yeah.
And this is where you lose your
Hey,
cheese touch.
hey,
The cheese.
hey. I like theater,
Mm-hmm.
but I was introduced to what if it was in front of a camera, and then I was gone. I think film students
Womp womp.
or like film students of filmmakers, maybe not all filmmakers, but I like to categorize film students as kind of a branch of theater kids who didn't go to the stage and just chose to do it more technically.
Ooh,
I can understand that.
that's interesting. Techies who found a different form of tech.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm a techie, but I found a different form of tech.
Okay, if you could make one Marvel movie, a musical, which one would it be, and why is it Captain America: Civil War?
Well, okay, but hold on.
Choreography.
Hold
it would
on.
be so cool
But hold
if we
on.
could get
But hold
wires
on.
too.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do we have to limit it to a movie?
Are you thinking a show?
Hear
are you
me
thinking
out.
of shows or comic books?
WandaVision.
That'd be really
That would
good.
be really good.
That'd be so good.
My only concern would be the costume and wig changes.
Mm-hmm.
True,
wig
but like
changes
if
would
you
be a
could pull it
nightmare.
off, how cool would it be?
It
How
would be
cool would
cool.
it be?
You could just do
And
like
Broadway,
little infomercial
Broadway could pull
commercials
it
in
off.
between
They've
the
done crazier
scenes.
things.
It's just a commercial break.
Yeah.
Commercial break.
And
Yeah.
every era is like 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Because
so
I
it's
think
kinda
there's
like
what, 6
episodes.
eras? There's
I don't know.
the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000s. Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
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 Other than like present day when things start breaking.
Well, yeah, but that's
Mm-hmm.
2010s is what they do. Is the 2000s, 2010s is
It's
when...
like 2020s, I think, WandaVision is set in.
No,
Because it's post. What?
the era where things
like,
start
like
breaking.
her little
Oh,
her
yeah.
TV show
Yeah.
within the
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
It would be
That's
also
like-
really
but-
interesting if the people who were like trapped out of Westview were like in the audience with
Yeah,
us.
like breaking the fourth wall kind of thing.
Yeah. So like the shield agents were limited to
Like,
Guys,
only the
get Broadway on
audience.
the phone. Get Marvel
Oh my
and
gosh.
Broadway. We got to call them up. Be like, listen.
We got a plan.
Listen.
Could you imagine if like the show starts and then like maybe like what episode is it? Is it the 60 episode that they're trapped in Westview? That's when the shield agents comes in. So after the infomercial,
Yeah.
there's like a sorry, I keep putting my hand in front of your camera. I'm not used to this camera. After like the infomercial, it goes to like that like you know the like technical difficulties screen that they have. And then a bunch of shield agents come in with like flashlights into the audience, and they're like,
Ooh,
that'd
just,
be
like,
"Lock it
look around.
down, lock it." That'd be so cool.
That'd be so cool.
Marvel.
See, but then like they
The
go
ushers are all
in,
just dressed as shield
right?
agents.
but then as like they start looking around in the audience,
Yeah.
they're like looking around, and then as soon as they get on the stage, like past the barrier, lighting effect happens, and boom, they're in like a 60s, 70s, 80s outfit because they just walked into it.
That'd be so
And they got
That would be
stuck.
sick. Or you know,
Broadway
how
could do it. They've done
could do
bigger
it.
things.
Broadway
They
could do
they
it.
could do it. They
Broadway could do it. Also, it's also so practical to do. Like if you just had like a generic if you have the same haired actor. So like if an actor let's say like a brunette actor, low ponytail, had on sunglasses, so you can't really see her facial features.
It's like a body swap.
Yeah, body swap. It was how they would do that.
That's smart.
Have the actor who's getting swapped out stand on the trap door. She goes down, the other actor pops up.
Ooh, yes.
That'd be cool.
So easy to do.
That'd be
With like some
cool.
smoke and lighting
And
effects.
gobos.
So
Have some
easy.
gobos doing some cool effects.
Yeah. You want to know what would be interesting too? Is I'm also thinking of like how the stage is at your work at Tuacon. You know how they have that like little tunnel for actors to pop up at the front?
we have a tunnel under.
If when the barrier threw them back, we saw them fall down into like a pit like that. So like I know obviously on Broadway they have an orchestra pit. So it'd be interesting to see actors being thrown into the orchestra pit.
The orchestra pit's not a pit actually at Tuacon.
It's not?
No, it's a little room off to the
Well,
side.
not all the
Interesting. I did not know
we have
that.
baffled.
not all the Broadway stages are the same, right? They're not the same layout.
No.
No.
Because some of them have like turntables and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And some are a lot smaller than others.
The turntable, so when it switches eras, we see a different. It switches sets.
That'd be cool. Like while the little commercial's playing, like a little screen. comes
Yeah.
up and something.
Marvel.
Literally.
It could also
What's their
be
phone
like
number?
it could be easy set change because if you have the whole backside of the house as the set and then like the walls built in the middle of the turntable, then you can have one decade's set built and then as the backside you can be setting up the next decade, so then it rotates
Yeah.
and then you deassemble the last decade and put in the next.
Yeah.
So it's just constantly rotating and
And if
changing.
you just have it as like walls that you slide in and out, like flats that you can slide in and out, and then like you can just, if you have magnets for like a bowl or something.
Yeah.
It's
Where like the
so-
bowls, like just little decor things get flipped to match the era.
This is crazy.
That'd be so good.
We're gonna get hired instantly from for Broadway. For Broadway.
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 What's up?
Wow.
Chicago.
What was that? Nope.
Chicago.
No.
It's
no.
a city that's exciting. It's a city that's
Nope.
inviting. It's a city
No,
just
that's-
for me. I don't know if that's copyrighted. I don't think it is.
I don't think so.
That is not where I expected this to go.
Oh. You're at a Marriott Theater and you don't want me to acknowledge the pioneer of musical theater herself?
Well, not the person. I didn't know you were gonna go from us making a WandaVision player musical to Chicago.
The Shield agents have like a hip hop
And we're back.
number. We'll break this case. Break it down now.
That'd be so funny. Oh my gosh.
See, but how many? I feel like Broadway runs a lot more musicals, right?
Yeah.
They have a good amount of plays, but it just doesn't bring in
But it's
as
not as much.
I
yeah.
will argue that this season though has been really good about doing like serious plays.
Yeah,
I
they've
don't know
had some
who I
good
was
stuff.
talking to about it.
It was me and you, and I think one more person.
I can't remember who.
So we were just talking about like what shows
Yeah.
are currently happening.
Yeah. The season's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's been really good. Good job, Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? Well, okay. It's probably yes, but do you think Broadway has like crazy cast stories of people like getting in arguments backstage, like while the play is happening?
Oh yeah,
Like probably right, because
It happens
it's
at
just
every
like a normal
theater.
theater. Yeah.
Yeah.
just drama people. It's like
Have you? What's the weirdest thing that's happened to you? Not like during a play or musical, like while you've been in it, but like during an actual show with a live audience. Has there been stuff backstage where you're like, dude, this is crazy that's happening right now. We're actively doing a show.
Like with castmates or like just stuff happening in your
Yeah.
life?
Well, like with castmates or crew, like something backstage going
Yeah.
wrong.
oh yeah, because it's live theater. Something's always
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah. I was in a show this past year that I had an actor during intermission have like a health emergency, and we weren't sure if they were going to be able to keep going. So I had to go do a full hair and makeup change, and I had no clue if my castmate who was doing most of the show with me was going to be able to continue on. And that one was a bad feeling because first of all, my main priority was that person's health. I was like, I don't know if this person's okay right now. But then I had to go do my makeup I had to like go turn myself into a goth girl, and I was like, I don't know if this, like, I don't know, like, I don't even know if I'm wasting my time doing this. I don't know if that individual's okay, but like, when that person is in that, like, when anybody's in that state of like they're having like an emergency, you don't go near them. You like give them their space. You let the actual professionals handle it. And I knew at that time I was just making it worse, so I had to leave no matter what. But I like the whole time I was like, I didn't know what was gonna happen. It's crazy.
All right, mine's less dire.
Oh.
So it's where I work. It was at Tuacahn. It was my first season there. Beauty and the Beast. We had a horse that had to go on stage. Like Gaston would ride one of our big black and white Clydesdales. She's a Clydesdale. So gorgeous horse.
Making Gaston feel so cool.
Literally, like this horse is massive and just like beefy. Like she's got feathers on her hooves. Like she's a gorgeous big horse. And so she had to go on stage, and I would meet her center stage. So when Gaston enters, I enter at the same time, just the other side. So we kind of meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And I was in like full costume and everything. I had like this little bandana on, and I had this cute little like plaid dress and my like English riding boots. And I'm like about to go on, and it's the opening number, like when it's like the village scene. And I'm about to go on, and the dress was just a zipper because like theater costumes, it's not just normal. It's not just gonna be a zipper in the back. It's not just gonna be some normal. It's always something weird. So this one was like a zipper from like armpit all the way down to like my hip. Just one long zipper, but like the dress fit fine, and so I've like never had an issue with it. And so I'm standing in the wing, like about to go on stage, and mind you, this is like 2,000 plus people in the audience. Like it's a big theater. And so I'm about to go on, and that side is what's facing the audience, and I'm standing there, and all of a sudden I'm like, it's a little breezy. I can feel some air up in my dress. And then I look at my side, and the zipper had broken, so it was almost like 2 feet of just open to the world. Like I was wearing like pants underneath my dress and everything, but I was like, oh, I am fully exposed towards the audience.
Oh, hey, my costume is gone.
Like I'm open to the world right now. And like I had like maybe 10 seconds before I had to go on stage, but like if I was gonna be a little late, like that would have been okay. Like Gaston can deal for a second. Like fine. So then I had to find a dresser. There was like a handful of them like running around because there was costume changes happening at this exact moment. So I had to pull somebody away from helping somebody with the costume change, saying, please help, I'm exposed. And so I just got like safety pins going down, so it's definitely a little open still. But I just had to go and grab the horse because if I didn't grab the horse, she wasn't leaving stage. She was just going to live there. So
as long as it looked good from 100 feet away.
They're not 100 feet away, though, is the thing.
As long as it looked good. 25 feet away.
Yeah, I'm like, no, it's like 20 maybe front row from me.
Man.
Yeah, so I just like kept my arm like pressed to my side, and I was like, my little smile. And then I grabbed the horse and turned quickly, so that side of me was upstage, so away from the audience.
As soon as you turn the safety pins, it's whoosh, like a cape.
No.
That reminds me of something. When we did a production of what's it called? Drowsy Chaperone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also have another story to tell after this, if that's not too obnoxious. When we did a production of Drowsy Chaperone, I had to change super quickly from like a maid costume into like this monkey bellboy costume. And there was one night where my dresser, I always wear base costumes in shows where I'm going to be like fully exposed backstage, where like I won't have like like if I'm
you always have same thing underneath.
I always have like
because there's no privacy when you're changing.
And also just in case like if anybody isn't comfortable with that, I try to be very cognizant of it. But there was one night where I forgot to put on my tank top for my base costume, and I didn't realize until like the 3rd number in, because I was like, man, I'm feeling like I can breathe easy tonight. I'm not feeling much like my straps aren't moving, because my tank top straps usually would fall down when I'm doing like a lot of those dance moves, because I'm like getting jiggy with it. And I was like, man, it's like super easy. I'm not wearing my tank top. And I had to get fully undressed. I was wearing my shorts, so like the worst comes to worst, like, but I had to get fully undressed backstage. And most of the cast was women, so that was good.
Yeah.
But there was one like male. I can't remember if it was the guy who played Robert or the guy who played what's his face? Feldzig. I can't remember who it was. I think it
I
was,
would have never guessed that
I think
name.
it was Robert. But I was
paired with that character, so
Yeah.
I had
I knew that
Dallin in my
character.
head. I was like,
Dallin.
Dallin.
Wow.
Because the first one was Robert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think I was getting back. So it was mostly women, and my dresser was a woman. And I was like, okay, we have to do like the top half. It's a dress. So I was like, we have to get my shirt on immediately. And she's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like trying to like take my dress off, trying to throw my shirt on so that way nobody sees anything, trying to be super fast. And of course, as soon as I like take my dress fully off, Robert walks backstage. And I was like,
No. No.
don't look it that way.
Yeah, it's like, turn around, please.
I don't think he saw it. I don't think he saw anything, but I was just like,
Okay, good. That's good.
Yeah. But also, it's nice knowing that everybody who was in the cast have been in a lot of shows before.
yeah.
So it wasn't like taboo if you did happen to see something. It's just kind of like we turn a respectful eye away, but like we all are under the.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We all know.
Yeah, we all know. It's like
Yeah.
it's like it was a very comfortable cast. Like I never felt exposed, but I was like the one night I don't wear my
Right.
tank top.
Yeah.
There was also a show that I did my freshman year of high school, and I can talk about it. I can name names. I won't, but I could.
Oh,
Um,
we were ready. You know,
I know.
they
I
just
was like,
perked up like,
yes,
oh.
listen to you.
I'll
Names.
name his name. I don't care. We don't have any beef. But my freshman year of high school, I had just broken up with my boyfriend at the time, and we were in a show together. And it was a pirate show. So obviously there was sword fighting.
Yeah.
We had a sword fight sequence, and the lead female, somebody took her sword, so she didn't have her sword backstage. So she was on stage for this big duel she has
Don't
to have.
touch somebody else's props, y'all. Theater rule number one. Number one.
Especially in sword combat. I don't care if you think the sword is prettier. The female lead has it for a reason, because it is the prettier sword.
Mm-hmm.
High school theater. First of all, it's
Not
high
it.
school theater.
You're a basic role. You're
Get a
gonna get a
grip.
basic sword.
Get a grip. Somebody
Just
stole
how the
her,
hierarchy works.
somebody stole her
Yeah.
fancy sword, because it wasn't like we had the swords like we didn't have the swords on us the entire show. So they were backstage in like a sword rack, and when she went backstage to grab her sword, it wasn't there. So she's walked on stage for this big battle between the female lead and the male lead, and because they're enemies to lovers.
Yeah,
of
what show was
course.
this?
Jolly Roger and the Pirate Queen.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
like, do you know it?
I know it.
It's like a goofy show.
Yeah.
And so you know that final scene where they're like sword fighting because enemies to lovers slay.
I love enemies to lovers.
Slay. It was a fun show, but she didn't have her sword, and so me, 14-year-old me, I'm like, I walk. Like, I'm in the back of the crowd. It's a pirate girl crowd. I'm in the back of the crowd. I walk to the front of the girl crowd and I'm like, your sword, m'lady. I say that. So now I'm without my sword, and I have
Oh,
this big fight
man.
sequence in the background with my just recent ex-boyfriend, and now I'm the one without a weapon. So he runs up to me on the stage and he's like, where's your sword? And I'm like, just chase me around. Just chase me around the table. So instead of just chasing me around the table normally, he was swinging the sword. So, like, I would go one way, and then he would swing the sword to, like, cut me off. But this wasn't choreographed or
Oh,
discussed.
so you're just like fully improvising
Yes.
like
Yes.
fight choreography.
With a real sword. Like, it wasn't sharp or anything, but they were rapiers. So,
Yeah, it's like that's
Yeah,
a
it still
sword.
hurts.
yeah, you could stab me with that. He was just swinging it around. Mark,
As you
Mark,
do-
Mark.
Mark.
Oh, we're name calling.
Mark, if you remember that, my life was flashing before my eyes.
That's crazy.
It was the scariest time of my life, and that's why I don't fear improv anymore. Because I almost got stabbed by my ex at age 14.
See, that would make me fear improv. I'm like, well, I cannot I cannot detach from the script. I have to go book by book or else I get killed.
No, I love improv. It's
That's
my
crazy.
favorite.
Improv's great, especially
love
in
it.
theater.
It's so much fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't have nearly. Listen, I haven't been attacked by a sword. I haven't
haven't
had
lived.
my costume been destroyed right before I go on stage. But one of the shows I was in, I was doing Fiddler on the Roof, and
You're doing Footloose on the roof?
imagine how crazy that combination of
That'd
the
be
two would be.
insane.
That'd be nuts. But I was doing Fiddler on the Roof, and I was in a scene where it was just me and two other dudes up there. And it didn't happen to me, but it happened to the guy that was supposed to be my partner in the scene, because we were the Russian soldiers trying to like poke down on the town, and I was obviously, being at a younger age, none of us could actually grow facial hair, but like everyone in the town and stuff would have facial hair. So the tech for that, like, I don't know how they did it in the time frame they were given, but they made a bunch of like custom, totally different beards and stuff for us to put on our faces for the show.
Like, was it like elastic around your ears, or like
no,
the
like it
spirit
was like
gum, like
it was
it's
like
glued to your
latex
face?
and stuff. Like it was glued to your
Oh.
face and stuff. And I'm allergic to latex, so they found a separate thing for me. So mine was a bit different, and one of the worst fears that the director of the show had was the facial hair falling off. But the latex stuck really well, and like even mine stuck really well. So middle of like runs and stuff, it's like it was direct middle of all the showings. It was like, I think it was the show after the matinee. We get up on stage, and I'm sitting over there in a chair watching these two guys on stage talk. And the guy who's supposed to be my partner, like another officer, is trying to be intimidating. And as he yells the part, like as he delivers the line that he yells the loudest and then he calms it back down, as he yells it, his mustache just goes woof and just falls off. And they both, I can't believe I didn't break on stage, but right after me and him got off stage, we broke down laughing, because as soon as it fell, they both looked down, looked back at each other, and the now mustacheless man just goes, "Ow!" And then he says, the line where I get up and I walk off stage with him. So
Did anyone pick up the mustache?
we get up and he starts leaving, and I just have to go and pick up his mustache. I picked it up.
Oh, my.
Go and picked up his mustache, and like we went through the curtains.
How'd you
and
carry
then
it? Was it like this?
We just I did
like that?
I
Okay.
was like, yeah, it's gross. We just walked off stage, and as soon as we passed the curtains, we just fell, collapsed, laughing. It was crazy because he couldn't think of anything. It was the second show of the day, so we were already kind of drained, and a really big technical issue just happened, and he looked down and he just goes, "Ow," and then keeps going. Like that was his actual mustache that just ripped off.
That's so funny.
That was the only time any facial hair ever fell off, and it was like 3 people were on stage, so you could not
couldn't miss
notice
it.
it. You couldn't miss it.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone saw it, but the whole crowd laughed when he said "ow," so it was like, okay.
Yeah, so it could have been
Keep
part of the
going.
show.
Yeah,
It's like
it can-
he did good. He improvised through it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
But like after that show, the director was like yelling at Tech, like, "Get more latex on his mustache. Like, we need to make sure it never happens again." It was crazy.
That's wild.
It's giving the "We are the Knights of Me."
Yeah. I just remembered another crazy theater backstage mishap that I experienced, except for it was 3 major ones in one show, and it happened to be the night we were recording. And this
That's
was
the worst.
and this was the only time we ever had any issues. This was like a month-long run. We had 0 issues except for the night we were recording, and it was 3 major ones.
It's always the most
Wait.
important night
Can I ask
that
you
you
which
mess
show?
up on.
Hunchback of Notre Dame. It was my senior show in high school. My first musical I ever did.
I love that show too.
Incredible. And we did it in like a big auditorium. This was back in Hawaii. So it was like huge auditorium on the island.
Super nice.
Like, oh, it was super nice. It was great. Our set was great. Like costumes, fun. I had to do like 40 costume changes,
Mm-hmm.
but it was fine. But issue number 1 happened at the Feast of Fools, which is towards the beginning of the show. We had Clopin, which we actually split that character into 2. So we had a male and a female. So they were like this fun duo that were both like really acrobatic people. So cool. But
Man, acrobatics just amaze me.
yeah, we
People,
had
like,
some
flipping through the air and
great
stuff. It's
acrobatics
nuts.
in that show. It was It was so good. Honestly, for a high school production, it wasn't that bad. But it's like Clopen had to do like a big, I don't know, like jump split or something like that. And he had a little pouch of coins that he would like use to like pay people, or like I think he robbed it from somebody. I don't know, but like there's like this pouch of coins that was used a lot in the first couple scenes. And he goes to go do his like jump split. The bag flies off and he's center stage, like downstage, center stage. It flies off. It wasn't like closed properly or something, so it opens. And so then 20 gold coins that aren't just plastic ones, like these were weighted, fly out in like this array. And they all hit the ground and just start rolling. Like, because the stage was a little raked. Like, it had
the ensemble just acts like real poor people. They just
no, that's
run
literally
to
what
it.
happened. That is what happened.
It.
Yeah, because the stage was a little raked, so that had like a little bit of an angle. So rather than the coin just kind of like settling, they were rolling left and right. Like some were going down like the stairs.
Man,
like I think a couple flew into the audience. Like it was just coins exploded.
Someone got a
on
gold
stage.
coin that night.
Yeah, so that was funny, but yeah, like all the little like townspeople there, they swarmed and like crawling on the ground. Like it almost turned into like a fist fight. It looked like it was so funny though. So that was incident number 1, which was hilarious.
It's good that stuff like that can be picked up and like cleaned up. Like I think there were people in the audience being like, that shouldn't have happened, but they dealt with it really well.
Yeah, so it's like we worked through it. It was fine. And then later in the show, there's this big confrontation scene between Frollo and Esmeralda. It's just the two of them inside the cathedral. And we had a big rose window backdrop. Like, it was just kind of like just like a painted backdrop for the rose windows. When you were, like, inside the cathedral, that was most of the set was just that, and then some benches. And, like, it was secured and everything. And Frollo's standing kind of, like, near it. And our Frollo, he was, like, a sophomore, but he had a voice like Patrick Page. Like, this deep, gorgeous voice. He'd never done a musical before, but his singing, we heard him, we're like, you're gonna be Frollo. It was so good. It was so good.
Sometimes you know.
Literally. When you know, you know. Yeah. So, and so he's standing in front of it, and he's, like, arguing with Esmeralda, and, like, the height difference between the two of them was, like, 1.5 feet. Like, it was this crazy height difference. And I'm in the wing, like, back right. I'm close to them from where I'm standing, and I'm sitting there just watching because it's only the two of them on stage, and I'm like, like, scene's happening, whatever. And I see the rose windows start going like this towards them.
No.
Towards them. Esmeralda doesn't see because her back is to him and the backdrop, but Frollo sees it, and it's light. Like, it's just like, it was a canvas with like a wood frame kind of thing. So like it wasn't heavy at all, but it was
So it
large.
wasn't actually like glass or anything?
No.
Okay.
But it was large.
Yeah.
And so he turns around and puts his hands on it like this, like up above him. And he's holding it, still doing his lines because Esmeralda's back to him, so she can't like help or anything because she has no idea what's going on. The audience all just kind of went, but it was like a dramatic scene, so she probably just assumed like, oh, like it's just like what's happening or something. So Frollo is now like hands up on the wall, holding it like this, talking to Esmeralda,
showing that badonkadonk.
literally. And then finally, like she noticed and she like came over and like pushed it up, and then we had like crew like run back there somehow and like fix and everything. But it was insane. Like the director was standing next to me. We're all like, like what do we do? But Frollo did it. But there was a good like 10 seconds of him just holding the wall. Talking.
Good on you, Frollo.
Literally, Frollo, you did great for your first show ever.
Carried that.
And then the last one involved me specifically. It was right at the end when Esmeralda is on the pyre, about to get burned like at the stake. We had like this little like set piece that got wheeled on, and then the smoke machine would turn on. We used a remote to turn it on, and it was not turning on. And I'm right there again in the wing, and I was supposed to like enter like towards later in that scene. And I'm sitting there and it's not turning on, and then the wire got like looped, so there's like a loop of the wire coming up off the stage. And Quasimodo is supposed to carry Esmeralda and walk right there, and so he's doing a lift, but now there's this loop of wire. And so the director looks at me, and I looked at her, and I went, here we go. I army crawl out on stage. I'm army crawling.
That's crazy.
You can see me. Like, the video, literally, you're like, oh, there's MJ
Oh, there
army
she is.
crawling on
Wow, way to
stage
go.
just so I could get to the loop and hit the button to get the smoke going. So
You crawled
yeah,
so Quasimodo could run.
yeah. And I had, like, bells on me. It wasn't a quiet crawl. I was doing my best.
Don't
It
look
was
at me like that.
"Jingle, jingle,
Don't look at me
jingle,
like that.
jingle, jingle,
That
jingle."
works. That actually works with
It
the
worked.
scenario. She crawled.
I literally crawled.
Quasimodo didn't run because he had someone in his
Nah,
hands.
he walked.
But he
He carried.
Yeah, he carried. Oh, you carried so that he could carry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I could
Don't
snap,
look at me like
I
I don't look at me
would.
like I don't know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about.
One time, my junior year of high school, we did Pride and Prejudice, and so many horror stories with that show. Great show. Best show I think that high school has ever done.
Okay.
I was Elizabeth Bennet.
Okay.
Okay, slay. The main
character.
Okay.
The
Nice.
One, the one who's with Mr. Darcy.
Awesome.
They have an enemies to lovers thing too.
Like Mr. Darcy.
And opening night, I had just chopped my hair because I had gone through a breakup over the summer that year. Through a breakup, chopped my hair as any teenage girl does. So instead of just putting my hair up in a bun and like giving me some like fun little curly hues, tell me why my high school director gave me a half up bun, half down hair with hair extensions.
Oh, what? Oh.
Only one set.
Oh.
Bought off of Amazon.
Oh no.
And we did have like a theater. We were like in the cafeteria on a stage, so it gets humid in there too. So my hair is naturally curly and frizzy. So you have these twirly girly locks and then my frizzy short hair. And Noah, who's one of my best friends, I'm still really good friends with them. They came backstage because they were our tech director at the time. As first opening night with my hair extensions, and I'm immediately sat down. They put 2 more sets in my hair. So I have 3 sets of hair extensions in my hair. So it's basically just all hair extensions at this point. Yeah. Painful because they're digging into your skull. And I asked Noah, I was like, how bad is it? And Noah, who at the time had a pixie cut, was like, it grabbed my hair extension and held it up to their head, and it was like, it looks like this. And I was like,
oh, no.
So I just acted my butt off for the whole time for no one to be taking me seriously. Painful.
Hey, you don't know that. Everyone has a bad hair day. Maybe they're just like, we don't need to focus on it. Everyone,
okay.
everyone deals with it.
And then the second week of that show, during the ballroom scene, the first one where they meet each other and they're like, eeny, meeny, me.
Yeah, they're like,
Mr. Darcy, it's barely tolerable.
I've never seen Pride and Prejudice.
Criminal offense. Anyways, there's this ballroom scene where they first meet each other and they have this tension and they're
tension's palpable.
But they're like, I don't like you. Or do I? They're like, I don't like you. But yeah. So as I'm walking off, after just telling Darcy off, I turn, my character heels, whoop, out from under me.
No.
I go face first into the stage, split my knee open.
Oh.
Yeah. Luckily, my mom was there that night, gushing blood on my knee in my dress. Heather saved me that night. Heather really ran backstage. And so I had a next scene after. Well, I think the next scene, it was a family scene, and I didn't go on for a little bit. So we had to just slap a paper towel on and tape it to my knee.
Patch it up.
Because we didn't have Band-Aids, so I just had to slap a paper towel on and tape it to my knee.
Well, who was stage manager?
We did, but we didn't know how bad my cut was because I just had to go. I was like, we just need to tape this paper towel. So we taped a damp paper towel to my knee. And I had to go on stage. I had a costume change too, so we're changing. I'm trying not to because I went from a blue dress to a white dress, trying not to get blood on my dress.
Yeah,
I know. So I was like, we just need to tape a paper, we just need to go. So I tape spike tape, a wet paper towel to my knee.
What color is the spike tape?
Neon yellow.
Oh man.
Okay.
You couldn't really see it through the dress, luckily, but because I had a slip on.
Oh, good.
I was really worried about that.
I was also worried about it.
I mean, for a white dress, for neon to be under it.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, hey,
what's going on with her knee?
Her knee's glowing.
Why does it glow in the dark?
That's weird.
Let me charge your knee real quick with the flashlight.
Yeah, so I had to go through all of the first act so long, up until I think right as I get his letter. So up until that's act 1 is right before Elizabeth reads the letter. So we had to go through the whole I don't want to marry you scene. So we did the first act, and then I was at intermission, and then my mom comes backstage, and my mom's like, I saw you ate the stage. Let me look at your knee.
Ate the stage.
It was
That's
okay.
so
It wasn't too
funny.
bad. Like, it didn't need stitches or anything.
Yeah.
But, like,
That's good.
There's like, so
mortifying.
weirdly, I don't know how, because I was in middle school for this. But I was a part of my middle school's Peter Pan play. I don't know how the director like made these connections or something, but she had connections to the people who installed the flight system for Broadway's Peter Pan.
Oh.
So she got them to bring a smaller model
Where was
down
this?
for my middle school performance of Peter Pan. So we
Like,
had
was
the
that in
same,
Utah?
yeah. So we had the same.
What's with theater girls in Utah?
We had the same flight
Rigging.
rigging as Broadway.
Dang.
And so they taught the tech how to use it, and it was really nice, and we had it for like 2 months the whole time we were doing the play. And so that happened, and then just as kind of a helper, I helped because my middle school was connected to an elementary school as well. I helped the elementary do Peter Pan Junior because, like, you know, whatever the middle school did, the elementary did just Junior right after it. So they were doing Peter Pan Junior, and I was gonna help them with the flying. And I was like, okay, I'll do the flight machine. I get in there my first time to help, and they're like, oh yeah, that got torn down a week ago, so juniors don't have it. Here's what you're gonna do. And they gave me a black morph suit.
Did you carry the kid?
I was just gonna have the kid on my shoulders. I had Peter Pan on my shoulders. There were like 4 of us to get all the kids flying, and because I was the tallest, I had Peter Pan on my shoulders. And at one point, he
How old were
stood
these
on my
kids?
shoulders,
What?
like to just get him, like, you know, the
Yeah,
classic
the
Peter Pan pose and stuff. But most of the time, they were just sitting on our shoulders, like, and they were like elementary students, so like
airplane sound effect.
like 4th grade and down.
Dang.
So, are you telling me you literally carried Peter Pan?
I carried Peter
You
Pan.
carried the
I
show.
carried the show. I carried the show. Lights, camera, action. I'm there.
Nice.
From curtain open to curtain
I
close.
thought this episode was about theater.
Lights, curtains, action.
Nope.
Lights, curtains, play music. Then it's the intro.
Lights, curtain, cue.
Sure, that's music.
Or go.
Or overture.
Overture. Go.
Overture.
Lights one.
Overture.
Go.
That's the intro music, isn't it? Right? That's what the overture is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the opening
Just-
music. It's just
Okay.
orchestrated,
So
like
I
instrumental.
Yeah,
was
it's
right.
crazy that you're like,
Lights,
overture.
curtains, music.
That's the intro music, right?
I'm not wrong.
No, it's just crazy that you called it the intro music, like it's a podcast.
No, it's just the music and the
Did you know we
introduction.
actually
That's
invented
intro
podcasts?
music. Oh, did we invent podcasts?
We invented podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
We invented podcasts. There were no podcasts before us.
It's
Don't look
so-
into that.
Yeah, don't Google that.
Don't Google that.
It's so funny to me because we started a podcast, and now I feel like everybody I know is talking about starting a podcast or started a podcast. It's kind of silly.
Trendsetters.
What can we
It's
say?
well, also before we created it, it was also very popular. Like podcasts started getting big and stuff
Yeah.
a little while ago.
Thank you, Brittany Bresky.
And then
Love Brittany Brisky.
we started it, and then I get what you're saying. Like, it seems like everyone in our lives is now wanting to start one, and we're like, why are you doing that?
What are you guys doing?
Why are you doing that?
Wait a minute. What's
Was
happening?
there an inspiration for that decision?
Was there a carbon copy?
Just chose to, like, instead of Ultracrepidarians, it's mega crepidarians. Like, just trying to, like, it's basically the same thing.
Ultra-hectarians.
Just like the knob is turned
Just a little bit.
a little bit,
Just enough.
just enough, just enough to be different.
Podcasts are just so fun to make because
They
we've
are.
literally been talking for I don't even know how long just about stories that happened to us.
Yeah.
Like,
They are fun to make.
I'm like, we already do this.
this is just us.
Yeah.
Hello.
When you're here, you're family.
Yeah. This is not Olive Garden.
We always talk about
we talked about that a few episodes ago.
What else do we always talk about? I think it's Chili's or Applebee's.
Might be. There's no way we mentioned Chili's.
We do almost every episode.
I don't know. I know it's Olive Garden, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's always fun to record a podcast. It's never fun to end one. Guys, this is the end of this episode.
No!
The first video episode. We did it. You can see us. You can see us start and you can see us end. Make sure to follow us on our socials. We have Instagram.
Ultracrepidarians HQ.
Ultracrepidarians HQ.
Twitter.
We have Twitter. We have TikTok that we're now going to be posting now that we have video. It's going to be awesome. You're going to see some funny things. You'll see some funny clips from the podcast, but not everything because you got to come here onto either YouTube or Spotify to listen.
Yep. A special thank you to our first guest, MJ.
Yeah.
Give a round of applause.
MJ, thank you for coming.
MJ, where can our followers find your social media?
I'm on Instagram, and that's really it. But
That's all you really need to be on sometimes.
If you want.
It's MJX Johnson, one word.
No spaces.
No spaces.
No
periods.
periods.
Nope. We're
It is
all
spelled how you would
professional.
expect it to be spelled.
Yeah.
Like Johnson.
John's song.
Johnson.
Johnson.
It's fine. All you need to be on is Instagram nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just downloaded.
So go find her on
Threads,
Instagram.
too lazy to do it.
Go find us on Instagram. Go find us on a lot of other stuff. But be sure to listen on YouTube and Spotify. We upload bi-weekly, so we'll see you in 2 weeks. See you guys.